How's it going, everybody? Tonight we're going to talk about 5 must-know tips for street photography at night. Let's get it. Alright, we're back, and let's get right into it, starting with tip number 5. Tip number 5, seek out artificial light sources. At nighttime, once the sun goes down, it starts to get a little bit trickier as far as getting enough light to the sensor, so you gotta improvise. Look for things like neon signs, buses, overhead light like this from buildings. Basically anything you can find. As long as you're getting enough light into the sensor, you're gonna be alright. Tip number 4. Don't be afraid to use a higher ISO. I know most of you are probably sitting there thinking, you know, I usually don't want to use a higher ISO. I usually want to try to shoot lower, avoid getting grain and noise in the image. And, you know, I know that's totally fine normally if you're shooting in the daytime or harsh light, things like that. But at night, when there's less natural light available, and like I said previously, you're basically hunting down light sources, trying to find anything to get light into your sensor. Shooting at a higher ISO allows your camera to be more responsive to light, ultimately resulting in a better exposed image. Tip number 3, shoot with a faster lens. What I mean by this is shoot with a lens with a wider aperture, something of around 2.8 or higher if you can. What this will do is it will allow more light into the sensor, again ultimately creating a more exposed image. But remember, when shooting with a wider aperture, you're going to have a shallower depth of field, which means you're going to have more in focus. But on the plus side, you are going to get lots of sweet bokeh, which is always awesome. Tip number 2, try shooting in manual. I know this can be intimidating for some of you who shoot in auto on a regular basis, but manual can really improve your nighttime shots. Because unfortunately, when you set your camera into auto at nighttime, it tends to use inappropriate settings at times and really just messes up the exposure of everything. So if you want to nail a good exposure every time, I highly recommend shooting in manual. Now you can also try aperture priority mode at times, but that's better if you're shooting with still subjects. But if you're trying to capture anything moving, again, I would say shoot in manual. And finally, most importantly, tip number 1, stay safe. I know you guys want to get out here, you guys want to experience the city and get those photos, but always remember, you're more important than those photos or your cameras, so always try to stay safe, stick to heavily lit areas, heavily populated areas, and, you know, just be aware of your surroundings, and at the end of the day, have fun. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope some of these tips can help you guys with your photography and to get out there at night and get some wicked nighttime shots. If you guys liked the video, as always, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, hit that like button, leave me a comment of anything you'd like to see in any future videos, and until next time guys, take her easy.